we go again. Like already this second one is, to me, better than this one. I mean, the contrast is nicer. It feels more painterly. It's far more expressive. But I think we have to go through the steps of exploring them in different styles and proportions to let that kind of fun stuff reveal itself. And which is why I say the first one is always going to be the most rigid, the most boring. Sometimes it's the best one, but you know, if you keep going, just kind of try it and see what happens. So the next one, I'm gonna grab this brush. An idea, what if we did it a little bit flatter? Like it's like we take that and kind of squish it a little bit. That'll be a fun exercise. So squish it. We got that inner donut area. It's gonna have a shadow here, shadow there, and the stem. I'm gonna grab the color from up here because efficiency is key. Merge down, new layer. Let's see what happens when we go with the full red color. Now this is on a new layer underneath the line work. Go halfway to black, make it cooler. Get a shadow here, a little bit of shadow there. This time we're going to pull out the airbrush. Just kind of let that shadow be a bit more soft there. Let's grab this for the shadow on the wood. Let's lower the opacity of that line work. We don't want it to be too distracting. We could actually just take that and merge it down. Now it's all together on that layer. Let's grab this. And we want a highlight, so let's go towards orange and a little bit brighter. And this is just a continuation of the concept, which I really want to drive home, is if you go brighter or darker, whatever the shift, change the color too. Okay, just lay in these highlights. Even when you zoom out, it kind of already starts to read like it has three-dimensional form. It has that illusion of light. Let's grab that mixer brush. Oh, wrong one. All right, let's make it big. Just one diagonal stroke like that. Like this. Let's blend it in with that shadow, which we'll be changing the color of the shadow shortly because it's lacking in color. A lot of the questions you might have as you're doing something like this often get answered by just doing the painting. You'll have a lot of ooh and aha moments when you're kind of, you know, going through the process of it rather than trying to plan everything out and figure it all out before you go in. Let's grab that blue again, make it nice and fun and colorful. When I just put that blue down there, I looked up at the navigator window on the thumbnail just to see if it's too strong, because if I did something like this, that's kind of too strong, right? I want it to have saturation in the blue, but not so bright that it's competing with the highlight area of the apple itself. The highlight in there. And let's make that ground a little bit brighter here. Here as well. And just fade out. Let's grab a stem color. New layer. One stroke, halfway to black, make it warmer or cooler. Just have fun with it. Maybe even add a bit of blue in there. Why not? Yeah, that's cool. We forgot the shadow of the stem onto the apple. Well, there it is. That's what I'm talking about. I'm actually going to sneak in a little highlight on that stem here. Even if it's not like that in the reference. Or it is a little bit. Yeah, there's some highlights in there. I did forget to put the speckles of those dots, but that's fine. We'll skip that. If I really want to, I can add it later. I'm gonna go ahead and put some blue in the shadow to make it a little bit more interesting. New layer. This time I'm gonna use the transparent round brush. I'm gonna grab the blue that we used up here. I'm gonna just go ahead and lightly paint that in on this whole area. And this is on a new layer, so now I could just lower the opacity, set it to lighten so it's not going to affect that highlight. Watch what happens. It just goes right through. So lower the opacity a little bit more, merge down, and I want to really emphasize this little corner. It's a fun little high contrast shape that I want to bring back out. Just use the lasso tool for this one. And there's just so many methods to do all these things. New layer, I'm gonna grab this highlight color, grab that bristle brush. I'm gonna press really hard and fade outward by letting go carefully as I do these strokes. Now when you zoom out, it's a nice little juicy highlight. And it really brings out this area. I want to make the sphere of the apple itself feel more round, to have a bit of a roll over of the values. So what I'm going to do is grab this value. I want to go halfway to black, but if you remember from the cube exercise, on one side we had a cool shadow, on the other we had a bit of a warmer shadow. So we're going to go a little bit warmer with this instead of cool. I'm going to just lay that in like this along the whole edge of the apple. Like that. And it's on a new layer. I'm going to grab that airbrush eraser and erase out up to the edge like that. And just to see what it looks like without it, move it over. It's a bit flat. Now it's going to round over a little bit. Cool. I'm going to blend some of these cylindrical elements here. I'm going to leave it sharp towards a couple of these areas. That's fine. And put a little smiley face. Cool.